Hi, so today we'll be making camarones a la diabla with Mexican rice. So I'll start off by cooking first the camarones first. So obviously you'll need shrimp to make them. You'll need 1 orange, some butter, and 4 garlic cloves. You'll also need 4 tomatoes and 1 green bell pepper. You'll need 6 chile de árbol and then 5 chile de California, and salt and pepper to taste, although it's not right here, but you'll need salt and pepper to taste. Also, what is optional is ketchup and chicken bouillon. First, you'll want to start off by boiling your 4 tomatoes and your chiles, and also on the chiles, make sure you cut off the stem to them. So to boil the chiles and the tomatoes, it honestly does not matter if you start off with cold, hot, or warm water. So I'm going to put them to boil on medium high heat, just because I don't want the water to get all crazy and fall out. And usually the tomatoes, since they're obviously bigger and thicker, they take longer to boil than the chiles. So I'll probably actually put that in between medium high and high, just because they do take longer. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's doing that because the pan had water on the bottom, but I swear they are not boiling. Well, they're not burning. I'll show you right now. See, it's just steam because on the bottom of the pan it was wet. So now I'll be putting in the chiles to boil. So I just put them to boil together. It doesn't really matter. And then I just leave them boiling for about 7 minutes maybe. So while those are boiling, I'll just cut up the bell pepper. So first, let me take off this sticker. I already washed it, by the way. Remember to wash your vegetables, guys, because you don't want to be eating dirt. Or at least I don't. If you do, that's you. Do you? So they taught me in my cooking class that we have to hold our knives like this. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead, hold this down right here so it doesn't roll off. And I'm just going to cut this off because I don't want it. I'll put it off to the side because I don't want to take off the room. Then I'm gonna want to take this out. To be honest, I don't remember if they taught us how to cut a bell pepper, but that's how I usually just take it out. I kind of just carve it out. So just do that. Okay, and then I'll do put this like this, and then just go around like this, and it'll come out like that. Put this right here, then I'll push this out, then I took it out, and then I'm actually gonna go ahead and throw this outside on our dirt back there, to compost it. So I'll do that right now. And it's actually still right now, so I'm gonna go for compost. So because I touched that, obviously I'm gonna wash my hands. Okay, so now I'm back. So I'll cut this in half, and then I'll cut this one in half, and I'll cut this one in half. Just so, I don't know, I think it's easier for me. I don't know, don't quote me. So now I'll just also they told us that the tip goes first, and you just go like that. So you go, and you cut, and you cut, and you cut. Okay. Then you cut. Still cutting. Oh yeah, you want to cut them like all like the same shape so they like cook evenly. Cut, 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 cut. Still cutting, cutting, and last cut. Okay, so this is cut. I need my knife for a minute, so I'm gonna cover it and put it in the sink. I cover it before I put it in the sink in case, you know, you can stab yourself or something. So we're gonna go check over there on the stuff that's boiling. You can just migrate with me. So as you can see, they're not done boiling. So we'll just have to wait. So as we wait, still, oh, don't play with the knife like that. So as we wait still, I guess we can go ahead and cut our orange in half. So later, like when we squeeze it, it's not that hard because, well, obviously you would have to cut it in half because you're not gonna squeeze any juice like that. So we're gonna cut this in half. Hold this down, and then there, cut in half. Nothing special. Oh yeah, I did go ahead and wash this knife, by the way, before I used it again. And my cutting board, I cleaned it and wiped it down and everything. Got to stay clean. Okay, so the tomatoes and chiles are now ready after 30 years. So you're gonna want to get your blender and like a little scoopy thing that has hole like this to get the tomatoes and the chiles out. So we're gonna go ahead and get the tomato. Fishing for some tomatoes. And we're gonna get the chiles out. Probably turn off those ones. Okay. Right. Also, you're gonna put in your 4 garlic cloves and to blend with them. And then I am going to add just a little bit, just literally a little bit of the boiling water in here and here, so that way the tomatoes are big, you know, so I can help like blend them and like it's the so literally just a little bit of the boiling water like that. That's good. So I'm gonna put this in the sink because we're done with this. This as well. So we're gonna cover this and we're gonna blend it. Okay. So now we'll be blending this. Before I hit blend though, I'm gonna hold this down just because this is super hot and like it'll go boom and you know make a mess. So I went ahead and while that was like boiling, I put this pan on medium high heat so it could be warm and ready for me to saute my stuff to make it. So first I'll be, actually I didn't put this in the ingredients, but I'm gonna be putting a little bit of olive oil and then the butter to like avoid the butter from burning. And then we'll be sauteing the green bell peppers in there and let them cook for a bit. And then I'll add the shrimp and then you'll see how everything else goes. So I'm just gonna a little bit, just a little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna do this to get it everywhere. Okay. Then I'll be adding my butter. I'm just doing this till the butter has fully melted. Cooking should be a sport, I think, because it gets hot when you cook. You get a little bit sweaty, you know. It should be counted as a sport. And especially when you're baking, you're going like that, like, okay, like, you really work out your arm there. So I'm just gonna move this around like this because my arm got tired. I'm gonna put this thing right there to avoid me like knocking it over or whatever. So I'm just going like this to help melt the butter faster. Oh yeah, if you use, well first let me put this on and I'll tell you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead, put this in here. So if you use unsalted butter, then obviously when you put salt to taste, you'll put a little bit more salt. But if you're using butter that has salt already, you're gonna want to just put a little bit of salt because then it's gonna be super salty. Also, it is important to use a pan that's the perfect size for what you're making because you don't want to overcrowd your pan because that's not good. So we're just gonna saute this for a bit. I know cooking's a long process. Okay, so now that I have a nice little sizzling going on here, you can definitely hear that it's ready for me to add the shrimp. So now I'll add the shrimp. And I'm just going to do the same thing that I was doing before with the bell peppers, just sauteing it, moving it around, make sure it doesn't burn. So this shrimp that I got to make it way easier for me was already deveined. It didn't have the tail off. I had to take the tails off, but it was pre-cooked already. So that's why it looked like a little bit pink already, but definitely, you know, let's reheat it and like cook it again, you know. So I'm going to add salt and pepper right now to my liking. So I'll do the salt first. Now the pepper. I love pepper, so I go a little heavy on the pepper. Like real heavy on the pepper. I'm just a big fan of pepper seasoning. Stir this around. I'm going to add just a little bit of chicken bouillon. Just a little bit though, just for like flavoring, just a little bit. You don't want to put a whole lot because then, you know, it'll be too salty. I'm actually going to put in my palm to avoid spilling a lot into there. So I'll just razzle dazzle this everywhere. Probably just add a little bit more for luck. Throw that in. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze the orange juice. Oh my god. Okay, there's that half. I'm just gonna stir this in real quick. And now I'm gonna put the other half. Oh my gosh, this is hard. Okay. I need a napkin to dry my hands. Because they're drenched in orange juice. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir this a bit. I'm actually gonna flip this now to this other side because so this side can cook evenly too, because my stove in my apartment is like slanted like that. I don't really know why, but it just is. Super weird. So stir this some more. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put about a tablespoon, well not a tablespoon, but actually like spoon that you used to eat, like a regular one, of ketchup. So remember that the ketchup in the chicken bouillon is optional, you don't have to. I like it like that. So like a normal size spoon, you know? I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. If there's something right here, I don't want that to fall in the ketchup. It's like hard ketchup. Oh no, my ketchup just fell. Okay. So like that should be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Close this, throw this in the sink, add this on the sink. I'm gonna stir this in here. It smells so good. Okay, so now at this moment, I'm just gonna blend everything again, then get a strainer, and then pour the sauce into here. So now I'm going to be straining the sauce, and the reason why you want to strain it before is because there's going to be like chunks and like other stuff that you don't want to like take a bite of or eat because it'll be unpleasant. You'll see at the end. So I'm going to fold this over and pour this in. Like so. And I'm going to do this so it doesn't spill everywhere. Put this in the sink and just do this so everything can come out. So you can see right here what I'm doing. So keep on doing this. Keep on doing this till everything is out. Okay, so you see this gunk? That's what you want it not to go in. That's why it's important to like strain it. Because you don't want to like, imagine like getting a bite from like that would not be a pleasant experience. Okay, so, whoops. Now we're done with this. We're going to put this in the sink. Wash your hands because I spilled on it. So now I'm going to stir this till it is cooked. So the last step now is just to cover it with the lid for about like a good 5 minutes, and after that I'll be ready to serve. So I'll go ahead and cover it. So now we'll be making the Mexican rice. I already went ahead and put the garlic clove in here. Probably can't see it. But you'll need also, aside from 1 garlic clove, you'll need 2 tomatoes. I'm just going to cut them so that way it's easier for the blender, I think. And then you're also going to have 1/3 onion. So we're going to go ahead and just... Also, they taught us the right way how to cut an onion. It's like, you go like this, like that, but sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut this in half, like so. I'll probably just cut this so like I'll have a flat ground. Okay, and then right here, cut this in half. Actually, I'm going to put 1/4 of an onion for that. Peel this. Cut this little tip. And throw this in the blender. Probably spread it out so it's easy for the blender. Like so. And then we'll move over there and we'll put like the other seasonings. So now we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're going to add a little bit of gran comino, just a little bit. I don't really measure this out. I just put like a little bit on my palm and put it in there. I just know, I don't measure it. So just like a little bit. Probably a little bit more. And then a packet of this, I don't know what it's called, but I just put a packet of this. It's like tomato seasoning, I think. put the whole thing. And then I just add a tiny bit of chicken bouillon. A tiny bit, because you already got a lot of salt up in here. Also, this I do not measure. Just a tiny bit, literally. Then I'm gonna have a cup and a half of rice, and obviously, you know, your rice to water ratio. For every cup of rice, you have 2 cups of water. So yeah. So go ahead and add the water, and then I'll fry the rice, and we'll come back. So I already had my pan heating at a medium-high heat. I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil right here to fry the rice. Fry a little more. Also, what I did with the shrimp, because the other burner over there, it doesn't really work that good. What I did with the shrimp to keep it warm, I just stuck it in the oven. On the low. Okay. Now I'm going to add my cup and a half of rice. Oops. And then I'm just going to do this. I hate how this stove is slanted. It's so annoying. So you're just gonna do this and stir around the rice. Make sure like not to forget about it because it will burn. So you're just gonna stir this till it gets to like a golden brown color, and we'll come back once it's there. Okay, now that my rice has achieved its golden brown color that I was looking for it to get, I'm going to go ahead and pour the juice in there. And turn this down to medium. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Just because, and blend the water so I can grab any flavor that was left behind. I don't know if that's actually true. My mom just taught me that. Give it a good shake. And we're going to add the extra water. Put this in the sink. Grab the lid. Yeah. I hate how uneven the stove is. So annoying. Okay. Cover it. Leave it on medium for about like, I think it takes like 25 minutes or 20 minutes depending. And I'll just come and check on it regularly, and we'll see when we come back how both of them turned out. So this is the final outcome. This is the Camarones a la diabla, and then this is the Mexican rice. So this is my plating right here. I added some avocado right there for some dash of freshness. Usually with warm food, you want to make sure you have a warm plate so the food can stay warm. But I'm using a paper plate because I already have a lot of dishes to wash, so yeah. And that was it. Time for the taste test. Oh, whoa, that was fast. Is it nasty?
No, it's good.
Okay, what do you like about it?
It's not salty. It's very, it has all the flavor it needs.
Ah. Okay, now try the shrimp.
Okay.
Do you like it?
Sometimes the shrimp from when other people make it ends up being a little too spicy, but this one I feel like it's perfect.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.